Welcome to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex, your host, today with Ralph and Donna. Ralph, tell us a little bit about who you are.
I'm a little of everything. A joker. I'm very realistic with things. I love people. I believe people today are so into themselves and their jobs that they forget what life is all about. I try to look at all ends of things, the good, the bad, and I feel sometimes that people don't take enough time out to enjoy what life hands them. And some take it for granted, the life.
And that's a big part of what we want to get into with you, Ralph, because your story is incredible, your disposition. Donna, briefly, who you are? Go for it.
I am a pretty fun-loving girl that's met him 20-some years ago, and he changed my world.
That's sweet. Every week we have Ralph coming in and seeing me, and his story I think is very inspirational, so stay tuned, we have a great show for you. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex here with Ralph and Donna. So, Ralph has had quite the eventful journey. His life's had its ups and downs, you might say. What I'm planning on doing for this first segment of the show is I'm going to hand the rails over to Ralph. Ralph, what I want you to do is just lay it out there. Tell us about what got you before you came into my office the first time. Tell us about the bumpy bits.
Well, my bumpy bit, it starts way back. I had Hirschsprung's disease when I was little. They never caught it because I had tumor on the spine when I was 6. At the age of 9, I had a twisted colon, megacolon, and the stool and blood, everything came out orally. I had a rough life because my dad was a drill sergeant. He didn't believe in, I care. It was more military, and that's the way it was. So I ended up in the institution for a while because they thought it was all, I did it on purpose. And they finally found out when I was 16 that I actually had a medical problem that needed surgery. From there, I fought to get into school, and I crammed 12 years of school into 4 years in high school. And I graduated with honors and stuff, and then I joined the military. At first they said no because of all my surgeries, but I fought, and I got in. And then I got hurt, and then from there, from Walter Reed, I ended up going, I got to Fort Dix, and then ended up going to Fort Jackson because my first wife wanted to know what military life was like. So she went in, and I had a colostomy. Well, they reversed it, and then I passed away twice on the table. So I know what the Mormon church sounds like, but I tell you, it's nothing like heaven. And, I thank God every day I'm here because, people just don't realize how much life means when you're on that table fighting for your life, when your heart stops, or the woman you love is next to you, and the tears are rolling because you know you could be dying. And when I was in the military, you know, I had a priest come up and give me my last rites. And I said, why are you doing that? He says, we don't expect you to make it. I said, you hear that song, I Believe in Miracles? I kept humming that song for 7 days in ICU. And after 7 days, they sent me back to my room, and that sunshine came through. And oh, what a blessing to feel it. It was great. And, you know, then through the years, you know, I had some ups and downs like the doctor said here. You know, I ended up with diabetes, which I never thought I would have. I never thought I would have stents put in my heart. But you can't let life just stop there. You got to keep trying and keep trying. And I finally went to Dr. Dagenhart, and I found out I have osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. And I have scoliosis plus, you know, I have other issues with my bowels still. Again, it doesn't stop Hirschsprung's disease. It's like a cancer. It just kills the nerves in your bowel. And so even when you're grown up at 71 years old, it's embarrassing at times to deal with it all your life. But at the same time, you can't give up. So, you know.
Yeah, no. Not everybody's going to know what Hirschsprung's is, so please.
Hirschsprung's is where the cells in your bowel, what makes your bowel stimulate when you feel like you got to go. I don't have that. The muscle just stays still. And you can get constipated, or you could just go, go, go. And in my case anymore, it's more go than constipation anymore. So I have to use preventive measures. Sometime I got to really clean out a lot for my bowel to stay normal for days. And then some days, can't help it, just keeps going, you know.
Yeah. So it feels like we've covered 3 lifetimes worth of trauma, but it's just Ralph here. And we actually have more coming up. When Ralph first came in to see me, he had quite the traumatic story. So I want to touch on that, and stay tuned for the last part. This show is uplifting because every day Ralph comes in to see me, it's always a ray of sunshine. It's like the best part of my day. So I want to stay tuned for the last part. This is a great show. We're going to go and we'll come right back. Welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex here with Ralph and Donna. So we're in the middle of Ralph's story of what got him, before he even walked into my doors, what he's carrying on his shoulders. And during the commercial segment, he brought a story out that I think it's very profound. And I think a lot of people might relate with this struggle. So if you don't mind, Ralph, if it's too painful, we can stop.
No. I think people should know, you know, that there's a lot of abuse out there. My dad was known to abuse, and I don't mean just a smack on a rear end. My dad was a drill sergeant in the Army, and with him, it wasn't "I love you." The only way he showed he loved you, or if he was sorry, if he bought you a shirt or a pair of pants. but that was rarely. Usually it was, I was born with that Hirschsprung's disease, and you have no control of the bowel, and there's no cell control for the muscles to work. So I either became constipated or my stool just would run. I got so sick and tired of being abused and being treated like, and now I think about how my dad missed out so much. My stepdad could have played baseball with me. We could have done so much better things together. Instead, he missed out. So now I don't feel so bad because he's the one that lost, not me.
Yeah.
I won because I showed him that I can be more than what he thought I would be, because he always said I'm stupid and everything else. Now, I ended up graduating from high school with 4 years only. I made it. And then I got in the Army, even when he thought I wouldn't. I fought. And then I fought through the surgeries. I fought so many times. I ended up working for congressmen, all kind of things. I can sit with doctors, I can sit with lawyers. I can relate with them, I can talk to them. And even the surgeon what did my hand last night, him and I talked like we were surgeons, not just a patient and a surgeon. And I believe this is how you have to be with a lot of people, but there's times you've got to be down to earth and talk to that elderly woman with respect, help her, because, hey, she deserves it as much as I do.
Now, you have to fill us in then on what happened with the arm. 'Cause
Well-
they don't know what happened.
Well, my garbage can won. I lost. I was pulling a pretty good sized garbage can, one of the square ones. Well, it was overfilled because I live in an apartment building. And usually no problem. I'll take it down the step, boom, 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 no problem. Well, this one got the best of me. The bag flew with all this heavy stuff in it. And when it flew, I flew with it. I hit the step, I hit the concrete. It took the skin down to the bone and everything. And I got up, I'm bleeding, I'm still getting the trash out. These two women from the church now didn't even,
They walked by?
they walked by.
Oh my goodness.
They
It's like the Good
acted like
Samaritan
I
story.
didn't even know them. And, hey, what are you gonna do?
How'd you get out of that? Did you pick yourself up?
I picked myself up and
With your
I
bone?
I picked myself up and I looked at it. I figured, well, I got to get the trash out. It's got to be done.
Oh my goodness. And your
So-
bone's out of your skin.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my goodness.
I went ahead, got the trash, got everything out where it belongs. My knees, blood on my leg and everything else. And then finally, her Donna's daughter was walking the dog. She was coming up. I says, I need you to take me to the hospital. She says, what's the matter? I says, and she seen my hand and she's got, oh my God. So she took me last night to the hospital, or
Last
night
night.
before rather.
And you come in here the next
It
day.
was Monday night.
Yeah.
Oh, Monday
Yeah,
night.
it was
Yeah.
Monday
So
night.
2 days later, coming in with your hand all swollen and casted up. What are we gonna do with you?
Well, I'm a determined person. I don't give up. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And she even said, are you crazy? Are you actually going to go? I says, yeah. She said, look how you look. I says, I'm going. Why? Because my word has to be my bond. And I believe when I promise somebody or say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
All right, we're going to take a break and we're going to come right back. I want to get to your uplifting. How do you go from all these traumas and this stuff to forgiveness and joy, even through you have your bad days and your good days? So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex, your host, here with Donna and Ralph. We just got through trauma. We got through damage. We got through injuries. We got through dying twice. We've gone through a lot of his life. And the curious thing to me is, how are you, well, when I see you, I'm sure you still have your down days, but how are you having so much joy and forgiveness? It's just incredible.
Forgiveness comes easily. The forgiveness part comes from being around people what care. Like Doc here and Dr. Dagenhart and a lot of people. I've met some doctors, I've met some people here that, you know, care. They do care. And I've come into here crying my eyes out because of the pain with my arthritis and different stuff I have going on. And Dr. Dagenhart he's been a gem with me. And then I met Doc here, and he made a difference in my life too. You know, he shows me he cares. He shows me that I'm still a human being and that I'm worth the time and trouble to help me with my problems I have. And my problems aren't the easiest to deal with, but every time I walk away from Doc, I feel good. And I'm hoping through the years I'm going to feel better. I always try to make him laugh or something, you know. And sometimes I don't always use the proper words, but it comes out to be funny. And, you know, I believe we have to laugh more. We got to laugh at ourselves and look at ourselves and say, hey, it's part of our life. We can't let everything beat us down. We got to look up and say, hey, we're going to make it. We're going to be somebody. And like I said, I worked for congressmen. I was brought up with hardly any schooling. I still have trouble with my reading some and spelling, but I made it through the congressman's office. I made it with the court stenographer's office. I made it with Lester Krasno. And I made it with doctors already, Dr. Sumsack, Dr. Bacon, Dr. Steele. I met so many good doctors. And when I talk to them, sometimes I surprise them because I don't look like the kind of person maybe what would know about medical. And all of a sudden I'm talking medical to them and they're looking at me like, whoa, where's this coming from? Or I'd be just talking because I also became a minister in April 6, 1976. I was ordained. And I don't act like one. I'm not an angel. I don't have a church or anything. But I believe it's not the one what goes to church needs the help. It's the one what's on the street what needs it. Because here is where God is. Here is where Jehovah, Jewish, whatever you believe in. It's from here. It's not from a building. And that's what we got to remember when we lay on that table for surgery. That building don't mean nothing because it's right here, the building. Your heart. And that's where it's got to come from your heart, not from, a book or anything. And, you know, I just believe you help each other and try to make the best of your life and their life. And if you can put happiness in somebody else and make them laugh, then you did something good for a day.
You're pretty good at that.
And that's how I believe.
Yeah. I remember the first day meeting you. First thing I thought was, what the am I going to do to help this kind gentleman with all these issues? And he tells me, oh, Dr. John's afraid to do this and that. And I'm like, well, that now I'm afraid to do this and that. So you encouraged me. We played it gentle in the beginning. And I tried a couple things here and there. I didn't push the envelope too far. But you were getting better.
Yeah.
So, of course, we'll never get you 100%.
Oh, I know that.
Of course not. But 80% would be really nice. That would be great.
Well, I'm looking forward to being with you. And I believe in you. So, you know, I believe in a lot of people. They make their own judgment on themselves. It's not other people. You know?
Yeah, I think, a lot of people are harsh on themselves. That's for sure.
So that's something what people got to learn. The judgment doesn't come from others. It comes from you. You know?
And I think, though, your little method of brightening the day doesn't hurt at all. Right? Make them laugh a little bit. If they could joke about it, maybe they'll feel better about it. That was Robin Williams used to say that stuff.
Right. I remember.
Yeah.
Dr. Patch.
Yeah.
Patch Adams.
That's right, Patch Adams.
You know, over excessive happiness.
Mm-hmm. It was very,
and I
very
believe
nice.
in it.
Yeah, I do too. It was very, very nice having you on the show today, Ralph. Donna, thank you for coming on. It's been an eventful evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Let's Talk Chiropractic. We'll see you next time.